drinking water like that.
Well, I'm telling you, bro. I'm focused, bro. I'm focused, man. Inside out.
You don't know who I am by now. I said,
You identify as.
you know, hey. When Alex takes a shower, the dude goes for 3 hours. I mean, it's like, you know he's going to be gone for a while. You have time. Do whatever you're going to do. Go grocery shopping. Go eat dinner.
Latin spice and neon lights.
Choking on ice.
Again, the airplane.
Of course.
Again, bro.
Of course.
Jesus.
Good evening, Miami, and welcome to another edition of East 10th Street Boys straight out of Hialeah. A little later than we wanted to do it, but that's okay. Alex and family, dinner and me. It worked out great. We're here ready to break down another day of Miami. Currently watching the NBA Finals. The Indiana Pacers down only by 5, 69-64 without Tyrese Halliburton, who went down with an Achilles injury. That was pretty freaking gruesome. But NBA news we care about right now, of course, is that the Kevin Durant sweepstakes again are over. And again, not on the Miami Heat or Miami Heat's favor. He goes to the Houston Rockets. The Heat put a very good offer out there, reportedly, but weren't willing to throw some extra assets there to get the deal done. He stood their ground. And then Phoenix took Houston's offer, which is Dylan Gabriel, Jalen Green, the 10th overall pick, and then a buttload of second-round picks. You're muted, Alex.
You just traded away the Cleveland Browns quarterback. It's Dylan Brooks, not Dylan Gabriel.
Sorry.
We got him too.
Yeah, they got him too. They got him too. Maria, what's going on? Maria, great to see you here. We usually see Maria in No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast, and she's here watching East 10th Street Boys. Great to see you in here. Go
What's
Pacers.
up, Maria?
There you go.
That's right.
I'm rooting for the Pacers. I don't care who wins, really. I mean, they're both teams that never won the championship, and so it's cool to see them there. But I am going for Indiana here just because of the situation. But yeah, man. So Houston wins the sweepstakes. Mike Brown brought Houston fan. He's ecstatic. He was excited about it. They did not trade Jabari Smith.
Yep.
They did not get rid of Cam Whitmore.
Yep.
They didn't. To me, their offer wasn't crazy. No. But hey, in your ballpark, you said, or to your credit, you said last week, you're like, hey man, if it's their deal, you said that that you thought their offer would be better than Miami's.
Correct.
And what Miami's offer was, there's a lot of, I think, misreporting and whatever the hell, but I trust Barry Jackson. And supposedly the offer was, according to Barry Jackson, Andrew Wiggins, Terry Rozier, Jaime Jaquez, Haywood Highsmith, and the 20th overall pick.
Which is not a bad offer.
That's not a
bad offer.
Not a bad offer at all. But it seems like Khalil Ware, or maybe you throw in a Khalil Ware or throw in an extra first rounder from next year, or possibly Nikola Jovic in there. And does that get the deal done? I don't know, but I'm glad that didn't get to that point. To me, this offer was, I'm okay with this offer. I mean, I would have hated losing Jaquez. I would have hated losing Jovic if you switch Jaquez out. But I'm actually happy that Miami said, okay, let's give this a shot. To me, I think that's their best offer. But I wasn't going to offer Khalil Ware or Jaquez and Jovic at the same time. I wasn't going to do that for a 37-year-old or soon to be 37-year-old Kevin Durant. So I see a lot of people butthurt on social media, Heat fans, so quote unquote Heat fans, in my opinion, about this whole situation with KD. Oh, he lose out again. But I'm okay with it. I'm okay. It was a fair offer. We didn't get it. We move on. What do you think, Alex?
Well, like I mentioned last week, I believed, I know they were trying to gauge the interest of Minnesota, a few other teams, even Toronto. To me, what sold them on this one is they got their pick back, because as part of the deal, Houston sent the 10th overall pick. So now Phoenix, which has a good player in Jalen Green, they're going to find a way. I know me and you were texting before that he could possibly be rerouted, but there's a possibility that he stays with them. Now they have to find a resolution for Bradley Beal. If that is the stretch provision, if that is, because you're not going to trade him right now unless you attach a crazy amount of picks and then Beal agrees to waive his no trade clause, you're not going to move him. So most likely you're going to have to buy him out if he agrees to it. If not, you have to waive him and stretch him. So that might be beneficial for them. On one hand, the package, if you really sit down and analyze it for Phoenix, is not overwhelming. Yeah, you do get Jalen Green, which he still has the possibility of being a superstar in this league if everything aligns correctly. And him and Booker can make a nice backcourt realistically. I know Dylan Brooks slides right into the defensive position there as a 3, which is not a bad option. I just felt that when it came down to it, Miami, you know what, I was surprised. I know they were trying to include Rozier, which means that they were trying to use Duncan for a secondary deal, trying to use Duncan's contract possibly to attach it somewhere else. So that was always my in-between. I'm like, do they attach Rozier and Duncan? Or for sure Wiggins has to be the headliner here because of salaries as well. So when I saw the final offer, it made sense. And to clarify what Barry Jackson said, it was a key word there was they didn't want to attach such and such and such and further draft picks. So that means that Phoenix was asking for multiple first-round picks or more assets, which I get you. Yeah, 5 second-round picks, that doesn't move the needle for me at all. Like, I get that. It sounds like a lot, but realistically, that's nothing crazy here because the Rockets managed to acquire Kevin Durant, and they still have the ammunition to go for a Jaylen Brown, to go for a Giannis Antetokounmpo. They still have a boatload of picks there available. So, Rafael Stone did an amazing job. I always figured it was their deal to lose. The only way we were going to get him is the Rockets didn't want him because they have a younger, more attractive pieces. So it may make sense. I got it. I would have taken that deal too. There's no problem. On Miami's end, it kind of certifies what we've been talking about, where I still believe Miami's going to make some moves. They're going to try to move some of their expiring deals. And I know a lot of names are going to come up with Kuminga, possibly Sabonis from Sacramento, DeRozan from Sacramento. There's Vucevic in Chicago, Lonzo Ball in Chicago. You're going to hear some names coming up, especially before the draft, because they might get that 20th pick involved. If we don't, we get a 20th selection, and we still got a young core in a very depleted East that you just mentioned right now. Now, these are 3 superstars that are out in the East. So the East is wide open next year. I know the Magic fortified their lineup. They're still going to round out their rosters. I know the Knicks are going to try to improve. I know the Cavs are going to improve. Pistons are going to organically improve as well. So was I a little stunned by it? Did I want Kevin Durant? Absolutely. That's a generational player. And Miami's tried to get him 4 times now. And you felt that this was the time. This was where Kevin Durant was the most affordable because of his age and because of possibly the contract extension. But sometimes things play out that way. And yes, we were the second. We finished in second again. But it still goes to show you that I understand what I'm going to say. People are going to take it the wrong way. There's still value. People want to play for this franchise. Sometimes things don't align. And just because you miss out doesn't mean that a person or a team didn't want to deal with you. It's just another team had more assets at the moment. So it could still be a transitional year. We still have assets that we haven't had in many years. We still have a young core. So there is growth here. And there's still possibility to make moves. But does it sting me that I want Durant? Absolutely, I wanted Durant. I thought he would have made a great difference with this team, but at the right price. I wasn't willing myself. And it kind of played to the sequence that we talked about last time, Bobby, of who would you trade? Because I had my first one being traded was Jaquez over Jovic. And you kind of see them align with that vision where you can have one or the other, but you're not going to have both. And you're not going to have multiple first-round picks. So that to me is – and there's a plus because – they took on Dylan Brooks' contract. They took on Jalen Green's contract, even though he's young. And they got the real asset there is the 10th pick in this draft. This draft is very deep.
That's right. And that's what, again, and that's the key word.
Correct.
This draft is very deep. And that's why the 20th pick, why don't we just add multiple first round picks? Or why don't we get, you're already giving up the 20th pick in a very deep draft with a team that, there's people saying out here, the Heat aren't good enough.
Correct.
They're not good enough. They don't have the depth. They don't have this. They don't have that. Well, then why do you want to give up all those first round picks?
Correct.
If your team's not, you're going to trade for a 37-year-old player who's probably going to retire in 2 years. You gave up 4 first round picks or 3 first round picks. How do you think you're going to address what's coming after that? It's a short-term fix. Now, and my question too, how many times has Kevin Durant been moved? He went to Phoenix, right? That was supposed to be a super team. How many championships did he win in Phoenix? How many championships did he win in Brooklyn? 0. None.
Yeah, but
Zilch.
that's not all KD's fault, man. That's
It
the
doesn't
setup
matter.
there.
It
That's the
doesn't
setup
matter.
there.
That was the needle mover.
That was
You
situation.
traded for him to get a needle mover. Is Devin Booker better than Tyler Hero?
Devin Booker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So they went, oh, let's go ahead and go get KD. This is going to be the piece. We're going to go get him. This is going to put us over the hump.
Correct.
Right? That's the argument being made for Miami fans right now.
Yeah.
KD's going to put Miami over the hump. Did he put Phoenix over the hump? No.
But once again, situation, Bobby.
Doesn't matter.
Bradley
It
Beal.
doesn't matter.
That team wasn't
It
built
happens.
to win.
It happened in Brooklyn. It happened in Phoenix. He didn't win without. He hasn't won without Golden State. It's not a needle mover. I was not going to include it. Look, we got him. Okay, as long as the deal's right. But 37-year-old Durant, who hasn't won since being in Golden State, we know how great he is as an individual player. But what has he done to lift his team? What has he done? Circumstance or not? If you're a superstar, you're going to do that. But he hasn't done that. And I'm not going to go and go, okay, I'm pissed off at Power because he didn't give up Khalil Ware, who has a bright future, or Jovic and Jaquez. You know, yes, I would rather. I told you this before the season. I'm consistent. I said before the offseason, I'm not whale chasing. I'm not interested in that. I'm not going to get harped on. All these Heat fans out here, a majority of them, they're still hyping on this whole whale chasing thing. We need that one guy. We got to go on. We didn't get him. Oh, Heat suck. Pat Riley's washed. Blah, 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 blah. All the same shit, different story. We don't get him. No, focus on our young core. You got Khalil Ware, Jovic, Jaquez. He struggled last year. I believe he's going to get better. And then you got the 20th overall pick from a deep draft. And guess what? You have a couple first rounders next year. Now, does that mean the Heat are done because they lost on a KD? No. They could still go on and do some moves to help this roster go next year. They have to, especially now. What you're bringing up is something that we talked before the show.
Yeah.
Halliburton just went down with an Achilles injury. Jason Tatum during this playoff went down with Achilles injury. Damian Lillard went down with an Achilles injury, right? Those are three guys that went out that possibly could, might not start the season. This is a good time for Miami to be ready to go into next year. It might be a easier road in the East, but I don't know how much of a difference KD would have made for the Heat if they would have included everyone they said they were going to include, or if Heat fans wanted them to include.
That's the part. That's the part. If you
why kill? You say the Heat don't have depth, not you. I'm just saying. I'm talking about in general.
Yeah.
They say, oh, the Heat don't have depth. Well, you think they're gonna have depth if they trade everybody and their mother? No, it wasn't the move to be made. And these so-called Heat fans that are coming out now and crapping on the team, and ever since the Heat traded for Jimmy Butler, they've missed out on Kyrie, KD, Giannis, which is not true. Giannis was never a free agent. Donovan Mitchell, Harden twice, Beal, Damian Lillard, Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, DeMar DeRozan. The Heat this front office has failed enough.
The fact that they even say Beal, Miami never wanted Beal.
My point is
never going to take that contract.
Exactly, and this is the it's just really Mitchell. They're just pushing a narrative.
Out of all of them, I believe we missed out on Mitchell. We had a chance for Mitchell.
But my thing is this. Thing is this. You go, oh man, but we never got these guys, man. They always miss out on these superstars. Okay, how many championships did these superstars win on their new teams? How many? How many times were they in the finals? These superstars that we missed out on. Not Giannis, because Giannis doesn't count. But how many of these superstars that fans are all pissed off that we missed out on? Again, Kyrie, KD, Donovan Mitchell, Harden, Beal, Lillard, Paul, Westbrook, DeRozan. How many of them went to the NBA Finals? How many won a championship? Anybody has a guess? No one at all? 0. 1-0. I don't think any of them were in the finals. I might be missing something, but I don't think any of them went to the finals. You know who was since we traded for Butler? You want to know how many times the Heat were in the finals since we traded for Butler? Half these people are out of their damn mind.
I'll tell you this, Bobby. It's one of those. Heat fans are very passionate. We get that. I understand. Are they delusional at times? Absolutely. Do they? It's okay. When you have sustained success and you don't have out of the whole NBA organization, 2 organizations I consider to be the most stable in the last 20 years, the Heat and the Spurs. We've had less of a drop-off than the Spurs. Since the Spurs last won their championship, count how many under 500 seasons they've had, And now they're on the uprise because of what? They drafted young players, they developed young players, and they're up and coming. Miami is in that transition period where you are going to try to go for it because, yeah, you have a younger core. And that's why they were so adamant of, yes, we want Durant, but at our price. We're not going to go above this price. Houston can take that risk because they have a boatload of assets, a boatload of young players that right now they traded their young players. But you look at Houston's roster, you got Amen Thompson, Jabari Smith, Reed Shepard, Cam Whitmore. You still got the farm. If we were going to move, like you mentioned, the farm, what do we have? Yeah, we got Pelle Larson. We have Keshad Johnson. I get that. Those could be rotational players. But you just traded your top prospects. You just traded Ware. You traded Jovic. You traded Jaquez. That's part of your core. You get me? So there is a situation that the logical fan can see it. The illogical fan, and when Pat Riley is washed, is not going to understand it. Why? Because it's a different mode of operation. This salary cap, this collective bargaining agreement has made teams at times switch up how they conduct business. And Miami's kind of in that transition period. Miami hasn't had these many picks in a very long time. Why? Because we've always been contenders. We've always been developing players. We always acquire those free agents. Life changes. And I understand that we were this close. I guess it hurts more. I would say in comparison, it probably hurts more because we finished second again, just like we finished second for Damian Lillard 2 years ago. So I guess Miami has that PTSD where you rather not be part of the conversation. But, man, I want to be part of every conversation. You know how many conversations we've been a part of that we haven't been able to acquire the player, but we're there. That means that there's respect for the organization. There's respect for Coach Spo. There's respect for Bam. People were talking about trading Bam. Like, if you're going to do a full gut, yeah, okay, trade Bam. Get 5 first-round picks. And I believe Bam can get you 3 to 4 first-round picks or pick swaps. And Tyler Hero can get you maybe 1 or 2. Like, yes, I understand that. And because that's one of the ideas floated around by Barry Jackson. He didn't say that he would do it, but he did float the idea of you gut the roster, you keep the young guys, and in 2026, you have $140 million in cap space. That's a great idea if you want to gut it. But we still have a young core. We can develop this core. This core can grow organically, and you add pieces to it. And it could be a contender. You see it. You kind of see now there's even if you don't add anything. And for the 20th pick, I still think it might be Rasheer Fleming or Ben Sarif. And there might be other options.
Yeah, those
are
good names.
You got talent. You have a core that could develop in a weaker East. And like you mentioned, they're still gonna make moves. Miami's not just gonna go quiet into the night, but they're gonna make moves that are reasonable. They're not just gonna make a move to make a move. They don't make reactive moves because they missed out on somebody. They're okay. They're fine.
I want to say, too, to everyone who's watching, appreciate everybody who's dropping in right now. You're watching East Century Boys straight out of Hialeah on FTSN. We're talking about the Kevin Durant trade to Houston and the Heat losing out on that deal, not going overboard on their trade offer. Kevin says, hate to say it, but it may be time for Riley to go. We're a playing team. Our young players are not future stars. We are kidding ourselves to think otherwise. Here's my thing. Do you think Kevin Durant puts you over being a playoff team, a play-in team? Do you think he makes you a playoff team? Last year, he played 75 plus games. Their record was 36-46. The Heat, with the drama of Jimmy Butler and then trading him halfway through the season, were 37-45. How much of a difference does KD make after you trade half your roster for him? What are we doing? Like, that's come on. The difference here to me, obviously, because I don't think the Heat were, and I'm glad because I'm not on that boat. I know you aren't. Khalil Ware, right? The Heat weren't doing that. So the difference here, I think, in this deal and these deals was the 10th and the 20th pick.
Correct.
They wanted a better draft pick than this draft. The 20th pick is going to be a very good pick. You're going to get a very good player in this draft. This is a great draft to have a first round pick in. This is a great deep draft. But this came down to 20th pick and the top 10 pick because unless they said, okay, we'll give you the 20th pick, but we're also going to give you Khalil Ware. And then they go, whoa, Khalil Ware. Yeah, I'm with you, Will. Pat Riley can go out on his own terms. Jaquez disappeared. Spo doesn't know what to do with Jovic. I mean, what's the point then? Jaquez is in his second year. He's in his second year. This is not some 5-10 year veteran that we're like, dude, we've seen enough. Let's boot him. He's in his second year who overachieved in his first year. I think he has a high ceiling. People will say he overachieved. I think he has a whole way to go. He was in his second year, and Jovic got hurt.
And I'll answer something for Kevin, and because I've been also, as a coach, I have questioned the way they use Jovic. Now, I do believe that this year you're going to see a switch in philosophy where partially of the offense is going to be handed over to Jovic in the aspect of facilitator. They're going to want to push the pace. It's a younger team. Remember, when Jimmy was your main player and the way you ran offense, you slowed it down. That's why we play with such a slow pace. That doesn't mean Miami's going to be the fastest team in the NBA. But with Jovic at times running the point, this is going to be a transitional team. Now, Jaquez, he has been working on his game. He did kind of hit like a little roadblock, like that sophomore slump. Now, you want to see him develop other areas of his game. He is a functional player. He's not a person that cannot function in this system, and he's athletic. So, depending on the rotation, how you sub, how do you combine your talents is going to be how far he can go, because it's not something. At times we saw him as the Jimmy role, that he could play the Jimmy Butler role. He can quite frankly still play that role right now. Is he going to start? No, he's going to come off the bench. But there's even scenarios, depending on who you acquire, depending on how this shapes up. I have possible scenarios where it's even Hero and Wiggins in your backcourt, and you're starting Jovic, and Bam. That's a possibility. Or most likely you're going to start Mitchell, Hero, Wiggins, Bam, and Ware. But that's down the line. There's still a lot of moving pieces. But is it a lost cause? No, it's not. And once again, in regards to Riley, I've always stated, yes, I understand. People see when you don't make moves, oh, he's lost it, he's done this, he's done that. The NBA changes. We understand that. But for a very long time, it's been a collective decision-making process for the Heat. Riley is the face of it because he's the president of basketball operations. He's the president of the team. But Riley doesn't really have final say. Collective, transitional method of making.
Is it me or Alex who's freezing up? Maybe it's Alex. Kevin, I just want to say if you can hear me. Oh, go ahead.
Can you hear me? Good?
Yeah, you're freezing up there. Yeah, you're
sorry.
frozen.
Sorry. Oh no,
there you go.
It's just a collective decision-making process. So it's not just on Riley. Riley's the face. But what I honestly, sometimes I feel that as fans, we detach from reality of what negotiations are and how teams value players differently than other teams. We have to understand that you're just not going to go above and beyond or sell yourself short because of the ops. That's one thing that I respect Miami. At times they've done it, but they just don't make moves for the public perception or to justify things. You got to make moves that make sense for you as a basketball team and as a business. We understand that. So let's see what happens. This week is going to be very interesting. This week we'll be telling, because I believe there will be secondary moves. There's always plan B or plan C, and they might mobilize very quickly. So you might see a lot of names start flying around being linked to Miami because what? We do have an expiring contract in Rozier. And like I tell you, keep an eye on this. The fact that Duncan Robinson's name wasn't mentioned in any of the trade packages at the end, that's very telling. That means that they had a secondary move lined up because Duncan's contract is very valuable for them, where they could even cut him themselves and save money. So that's still a possibility. And if Duncan opts out, if he takes his early termination option and he opts out of his contract, he can re-sign with Miami. He can re-sign on a longer deal, less annual average. So there's a lot of moving pieces here that can move along.
And I want to just say very quick to Kevin, because you debate, dude, it's all good, brother. Yes, please.
Oh yeah,
debate. Let's get into it. It's all good, my man. All love,
never
bro.
gonna
I
get mad,
appreciate
Kevin.
you.
We ain't never.
Yeah, it's I'm just passionate, my man. We're all good, bro. He says it. Look, I just look at it like this: Jovic and Jaquez, if they become rotational players, great. They were mid-first round picks, but a future star, just don't see it in them. That's fine. They don't need to be a future star. They don't. They you never know what you could get out of those. I believe that in Ware. I see a star in that kid. I really do. And I love Jovic and Jaquez. You know, I'm on those guys. But I believe even if they were solid rotational players, that's what you need. Then you go get a guy. When you could get a guy to whether that's trading for a guy, you get a star player and you bring him or you draft him and he becomes a star, you have the pieces already in place. You don't trade your assets, all your rotational pieces and your future stars and your draft picks for that one aging 37-year-old star. And then you're like, you know, just to trade it for the sake of trading for a star. You know, oh, at least we got KD, but you didn't make the playoffs. But we got KD though. That's what I wanted. I didn't want to win a ring. I just want Pat to get a star. That's what I want. That's what to make me happy. I just want to see Kevin Durant was on the Heat. But what does that do? How does that help you win? You know, oh, but look, the Heat were only a play-in team. They didn't go to the playoffs, or they didn't win in the playoffs. They got eliminated right away. We need a superstar. Well, how many playoff games did KD win last year on his team? How many rings did the Suns win with KD on their roster? With Devin Booker and Bradley Beal? How many? 0. To me, that's not somebody you give up all those pieces for. Oh, but Jovic and Jaquez are only rotational players. They're damn good rotational players, and they are going to be solid rotational players. You don't do that. You don't gut your team for one guy who's not going to move the needle, just so you could say we got KD. Not
Correct.
The right move. It's not the right move. Not at the right time.
You can't trade all those and I want to make a public service announcement that because I forgot to mention in the beginning. For all the players out there that have calf strains in regards to Halliburton and all these Achilles injuries that have happened this year. A calf strain is a precursor to an Achilles tear, a possible Achilles tear. So to take life into perspective, some of these athletes like Halliburton, he put himself through hell to be able to play for a game 7. Why? Because you're not guaranteed to come back to the finals. I get that 100%. As a competitor, I'm not even going to fault him because I would probably do the same thing. Any doctor will tell you, look, there's a possibility. I'm like, yeah, there's a possibility. But any calf strain, players out there, take it seriously, especially younger players. The Achilles injuries are overtaking the basketball community. There's been a lot of Achilles injuries. Some people say it's a load management. I'm a firm believer, believe it or not. Yes, I'm a younger coach and I think differently. But sometimes when you give too much rest in season, your body is not pushed to the limits, so it cannot prepare for the ultimate push towards the end, towards extended minutes. A lot of these game 6, game 7s, in these situations, you are putting your body to the extreme and plus. So when you do too much body maintenance and you do not do, or you don't push your body to the limits to a certain point, there's a situation that could arise like this. So calf strains, guys, take it seriously. Yeah, you got to rest it. But also in season, strength and conditioning, very important. Longevity, endurance, those are key things here. So just want to say it out there for anybody that's listening that actually plays basketball.
So, I love what Cap's saying. I'm with Cap. You know, I'm all about, you know, let's go grow the young guys. You know, if you could go get a guy, you know, and trade him without depleting your future and your assets and all that, move forward.
Correct.
You know, that's what you should do. I'm not all about killing, you know, let's deplete the roster for a one-time thing. And like Cap says, a guy who probably won't be here 4 years anyway. Other options possibly now that Durant is off the board for Miami. Alex, I just want to get your thoughts on all 3 of these guys that I'm seeing here in front of me.
Correct.
Well, more 2 than 3 because Russell Westbrook is on here, but that's more of a, you know, that's a rotational. That's not a needle mover. I mean, I would like to see Russell Westbrook with Eric Spo, Coach Spo. I think I think it would be a fun watch, and I think he'd fit in Heat culture. But I'm not going to include him. If we get him, that's great. And you might want to bring up what he could be to this roster. But Jonathan Kuminga,
correct,
which Jake Fisher has said. There's a belief among some rival teams. For example, this is Jake Fisher of Yahoo Sports. There's a belief among some rival teams, for example, that Miami could emerge as a potential Kuminga suitor among various guards and swingmen that the Heat could target. If Pat Riley and company do not win the Durant trade sweepstakes, which we know they won't, they could go after him. Another one is DeMar DeRozan. We've heard his name before. So it's unclear if what the Kings would want in that return, but would Miami be willing to eat the final 2 years of that $58 million deal? What do you think of those 2 names, Alex? And is there any other guy that that wasn't mentioned there that you think that Miami could possibly target that won't to kill their roster?
I think there's, when you say Kuminga, I think with the right amount of years, if he gets like a 2-year deal, then it's a time frame that you have with Bam and Hero as well, in regards to the 2026-2027 season. So there's a situation there. Another name, I think Sabonis. There's going to be a conversation with Sabonis if he asks out from Sacramento. There might be that. I do see that as a possibility, but the price might be high. DeRozan, I see as a realistic possibility because of our expiring deals, and we will take on his 2 years. Vucevic, there's one that I will consider. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Go get the 2 lizards out of your daughter's room.
Oh, okay. Let me finish. Okay, I'm gonna go. Let me finish. And I'm going.
Okay. Yeah.
I believe Vucevic could be had. Vucevic is an expiring deal, and he wants to play in Miami. So that is a possibility. Maybe with Lonzo Ball, there could be a combination there. I still got other options, Colin Sexton, Lauri Markkanen. They'll look into it. But it all comes down to the cost. What is it going to cost you to acquire this talent? I'm very intrigued that they don't want to go all in. Why? Because there's still the names out there, Giannis, Jaylen Brown, even though I don't believe they're likely. Other scenarios are Porzingis, Drew Holiday. There's options there. And there's ways to revamp your roster, but not affect yourself long-term or deplete your assets. So there's multiple things. I just want to see what is the first domino to fall after this one. I always pay attention to the move after you miss out on plan A or plan B. If it was, if you were waiting for Giannis, because obviously Giannis was going to take precedence, even though we weren't going to be in the conversation as well. I'm always very intrigued to see what's the secondary move, because it's usually a smaller move that leads to a bigger move. So there's like a precursor move there. So let me go take care of this, and I'll be right back.
I hope those are 2 iguanas, because she says 2 huge lizards.
They better be.
I swear to God, if there's these little tiny, first of all, if it's this size, I'm gonna say, if she ever says, Alex, that's huge.
Yeah,
I don't believe it.
Whoa.
No, I'm just gonna say, I need to know what's her thought process with huge, because if they're 2 huge lizards and they
you're
like
gonna
this,
learn today. You're gonna learn so long.
I'm about to say.
I'll be right back. All right,
go ahead. I hope those are 2 iguanas, bro. So we'll wait on Alex there. Mute his mic as he gets back, and to save his daughter from the 2 huge lizards in her room. Close the window, AJ. I would love to see Porzingis. Porzingis would be a guy I'd definitely love to see. Let's see. She sent me a picture. Come on. 2 huge lizards. Those are baby lizards. Come on, Jamila. What are we doing? Alex's wife just sent me a picture of the lizards. It's all about personality. Oh, AJ. The window is always closed. How the heck do you get those things in? There's a hole in the house. Tell your father to fix the house. You got a hole in there. Come on, girl. You're going to college. Kick the lizards yourself. You got it. If Theo Bobby was there, I would not touch those lizards. Your mom would have to take care of that. You would have to take care of it. I ain't touching no damn wet reptiles. So you wouldn't trade the farm for a Giannis or an Ant. Those are different types of players. Those are different types of players, Kevin. Anthony Edwards, yeah, that's a different thing. Absolutely. Anthony Edwards is a guy where I was like, okay, Jovic, Jaquez, multiple first-round picks, because that's the guy who will push your team over the hump. Giannis too. Giannis is a guy I would do that for. Wasn't it reported near the draft with Lonzo that Pat was a fan of his at combo him? I think so, yeah. And Lonzo Ball is a guy that's attached to Miami. I know Alex brought him up. I heard that actually earlier today for the Heat. It's just interesting to see. Oklahoma right now, looking at the finals, Oklahoma up 90-71 over Indiana. The Halliburton effect. Sucks for Halliburton, Indiana, as they look like it could be coming up on it for OKC to win their first ring. 6 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. But no, it's different. And there's something that you touched on a little bit earlier, Kevin. Well, we were worried about these huge little freaking lizards that Jamila and AJ are freaking out about in the room there. If you want to embrace the youth movement, then trade Bam. Pick a timeline. That's all I want as a fan. My thing is this, right? and I know Alex just brought it up, and I know Barry Jackson said it in regards of the Heat about possibly blowing it up, right, and trading the Bam and Tyler and getting a bunch of draft picks and just kind of restarting. Okay, that's again, if that's where the Heat want to go, cool, whatever. I'd hate to lose them, but I'm not against that. But I do think that you could consider Bam being his age a part of that youth movement, and you keep a Bam or Tyler, and they're young enough that you could use them and keep using. You got the 20th pick. Okay, now you draft the guy. You use 3 first-rounders already. You got Jovic, Jaquez, Rare. You have Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero. Look at what the Thunder are doing right now. Look what they did. And look where they are right now. And what did they do? They got SGA, and now they're on the cusp of winning an NBA championship. Building their roster through youth. I'm cool with that. By the way, I'm still grading up app essays, AP essays. Thanks for the entertainment. Of course, Will. I appreciate you, brother. Trade everyone and keep Bam, Maria says. I wouldn't take Lonzo. His health is a huge risk. Absolutely. I understand that. I think it has to be a fair offer if you were going to get Lonzo. I'm really wondering what's going on with these 2 lizards, these baby lizards. Why Alex is not back yet. If they, I mean, I'm gonna laugh if right now one of these lizards fell on Alex. I mean, on Jamila, and she's freaking out, screaming, and and there's a whole thing going on right now in that room. Poor Alex and AJ and Jamila, and why don't get Jake to do it? I'm sure Jake will grab those lizards. He don't care. Is Pat Riley done as an effective president? No. I think people are crapping on Pat Riley way too damn much. FaceTime Alex. Yeah, that's what I want to see. I want to see Alex on there. Should have brought his phone in as he was taking care of the lizard. Let's fix that because he's back.
Oh, my bad. Oops.
Dude, she sent me a picture of those lizards.
Bro, you see this shit? Like, come on, man.
Come on, dude. If she's ever told you, Alex, if she ever said
the big one got away.
If she ever said, "Babe, you're huge," there's something wrong, dude. Just letting you know.
I'm starting to question. I'm
going to tell you right now.
Yeah. Let me go get a measuring tape. Hold on.
It jumped. There is. She sent me a picture. I was like, "Oh, are you kidding me?"
I got the little one. The little one's outside with me now here.
Well, you're used to him. You're used to handling the little things, and so it's cool.
Yeah, of course. That's 3 times, bro.
I'm gonna keep doing it. She says that there's 2 lizards in here. She went 2 huge lizards, and I kept looking at huge, going, "Oh, I got to see the lizard." When she sent me a picture, I'm like, "That's it. That's it." I'm
starting to question a lot of things in my life right now.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right, bro. It's what I got.
Lizards are awesome. They eat mosquitoes.
Hey, I'm telling you, every time in my house there's a lizard, and oh my God, there's a lizard. I'm like, have you ever seen a lizard walking with a human being on top of their head just across your room? No, it's not going to happen. It just relaxes. A lizard is going to find the way it found a way in is going to find a way out.
But you didn't find the other lizard?
The big one, I found it when I went to get it. It jumped off and it took off. So now it's behind somewhere, somehow. But
it's probably going to, while AJ's sleeping.
Yeah,
tonight,
just lay eggs.
Fall right on her head.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're gonna hear, "Oh my God!"
Yeah,
be like, "Oh, I don't give a damn. I don't care. I just said it. I said it already, Todd. I ain't touching no damn lizard. I ain't touching anything about it. Nothing. I have nothing to do with any of those.
You too with lizards?
I don't give a shit. I don't care about them. That's my business. Fine. You want to get rid of the lizard? Go get it. I ain't touching that stupid thing. I don't want anything to do with those lizards.
But what's wrong? What have lizards done to you guys? There's nothing wrong with them.
I don't want to. I'm on air. I'm gonna be respect. F reptiles. Screw them. That's what I'm gonna say like that.
Oh man.
Uckum. I said uck, by the way. Just make sure everybody.
Uckum. Yeah. Uckum.
You're braver than Bobby. No, it's not about being braver. So I don't touch no damn reptile. I'll tell you that right now.
That's a fucking lizard, bro.
Is that not a reptile?
Yes, but come on.
Oh,
man. That ain't gonna do anything to you, bro. It's not like a chameleon. I mean, that's not a Komodo dragon, bro. It's like,
I don't give a damn. They're ugly. I can't stand the damn things. That's stupid. Screw those things, man. I don't
stupid. Care. You're calling them stupid.
It's still. I don't give. I hate reptiles. I'm telling you right now. I have nothing against them,
bro. Every animal in the animal kingdom has a point. The lizard, like you said, they eat mosquitoes.
I don't care what point it is. It's ugly. I don't have. Amphibians are Bobby's worst enemies. I can't stand them. They're ugly. They're stupid. And
they're stupid.
The devil's creatures. That's all I have to say.
Yet amphibians can survive in 2 habitats: underwater
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what
I don't know.
amphibian is, Bobby.
That's what they do. I'm not. This ain't no science class. I ain't Will Padron's
Oh man,
class.
that's
I
basic.
ain't worried about that.
Will, come on, bro. That's like 3rd grade, right?
I don't
Second,
give a
3rd grade.
He
I'll
fed a
give a
bear.
damn.
That's right. I'd go 1-on-1 with a bear right now. Bobby, there's a grizzly bear in my room. Let's go.
Think
Let's
about
ride.
that. Think
Tell
about
me,
that.
there's a lizard. I have nothing to do with a lizard.
Wow, bro. Wow.
Yeah, forget alligators. I hate them. Crocs. I hate them.
Yes.
Like I could watch stuff on them. You know, like well, you know, if there's a reptile, I know, you know, or whatever you want to call it, like you know, what's it that I teach history? Whatever, bro. You know, we have to get, you know, tomato. It's still school, bro. No, I'm just like,
wow.
The history
Jesus,
of amphibians.
He's one of those guys. He's one of those guys, Will. He's
Shut
one
up,
of those
Alex.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah. Bobby, there's a bear. Where? That's right.
Yeah. Death.
No, you know, tortoises, right? I think I
Yeah.
like tortoises. I think those are kind of cool. I don't mind tortoises, but all those.
Do you
other
like
things,
turtles though?
We talking about like ocean turtles, like right?
Yeah.
Sea turtles.
Like
I think sea
snapping
turtles.
turtles?
No, sorry. Snapping turtles. I hate those things. Are ugly. The little tongue to hang out like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably look like the
Click.
size of that lizard. That's you know that Jamila's
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
You know, probably when she's watching the Discovery Channel, she says that little tongue. And she thinks of you.
Now when I see this, I see this poor little lizard. I probably took the mom run away, so now I just took this little lizard. I basically removed him from his family. Like now he's alone in the world. I have him
That's
here
what
in the rocks. I just removed. Bro, I'm like ice right now. I just removed.
Shut the fuck up.
It's true. It's true, man. It's true. It's crazy what's going on, man, in this world. Crazy, bro. I'm like reptile ice.
Oh no! Oh man!
That's
true. Maria, great point out. Katie gets traded on the same day the Thunder are about to win their first championship. Look at that!
Wow.
Lizards are reptiles. Salamanders are amphibians. We learn something.
I love
every
salamanders.
But that's true. Tati's absolutely
cool.
right. You know, I'll go 1-on-1 with a bear, but a snake. Good luck with that. I ain't touching that damn thing. I have nothing to do with it. Not my business. Not my problem. Oh, but your dad. Whatever.
Do you understand the thought process behind that? When you're facing a bear, it's almost a guaranteed like mauling, but you won't touch a lizard to remove it or to like.
The thing is, though, like I guess with a bear now, I'm just thinking about it. Like,
yeah,
I guess
think
I'm
about that.
I don't give a damn how stupid that is. I'm just going to tell you. Think about it for a second. Hold on.
Okay.
Like, okay, I get that, right? But to me, a bear, you know. Pause. It's like, okay, let's go. Maybe I'm gonna get my ass kicked, but I'm gonna get a lick in on that motherfucker. I'll get him. I know where he. Yeah, I'll get a lick in. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna survive, but with a snake, that stupid ugly thing with a little too sharp teeth and run and like, I'd get a.
Yeah, I don't like
machete,
snakes, but if I have to, machete, I'll cut them off. I'll cut them off.
Yeah,
for sure.
I have never done that, by the way. I know it's not right to do it, but I can't stand snakes. I don't give a damn.
Yeah. No, if your family or your kids' life is in danger, or you feel, obviously you're not gonna do it to a garden snake. Like it's not deadly, it's not poisonous. But don't even try to reason. You can't. It's just
you gotta throw all these scenarios at me. But if your kids, like if Tristan is stuck in a corner and there's an anaconda, it was like, I love
good
you,
luck, good luck, buddy. It was a good run.
Good luck, son. I love you, bro.
Yeah.
I'll catch you now. I'm just playing.
It's not a cocaine bear.
It's not a cocaine bear. That's right. Of course, I'm not. Here's my thing. Yeah, I hate them. That's different, right? Okay, you know, if you're gonna put me in a corner, you know,
I got you.
Family, you know, okay, but like, no, I ain't gonna touch all that.
If you have the option, and
if Tati's messaging me, Bobby, there's a humongous, giant iguana or whatever here in this room, or there's or Bobby, there's a little lizard in here. Come get it. Why would I get up to go get a little lizard? Go get it yourself. Or iguana. I'm not. That thing's ugly. I ain't touching that thing. You grab it by its tail and throw it outside the house. That's it. I ain't touching it. I don't give a damn. It don't bother me none. Judge me all you want. I'm not. Why is she laughing so loud? You heard her. She laughed. Why is she laughing so loud? Whatever. There are snakes that are good for the ego, and he doesn't care. To them, they're all the same. Yeah. I don't discriminate.
Prices,
I don't discriminate.
It would be priceless right now if you got a lizard walking behind you.
On my green screen, just have some little giant. Like, you know. And don't get me wrong. Like, you know, there's some that I think, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, is it gecko? The one that has the arms that go like that. Like, that's kind of cool. But I don't know about all that. What's up, Sammy? Sammy just reposted the stream. Appreciate you, my brother. Sammy of Finn's TV, killing it over there, doing his
You know what's
thing.
funny? My only fear with that is like when I was younger, my grandma would always get them.
American History X, Harrison. He's
for you, buddy. Just for you.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
My grandma will get them with her hands and all that, but my grandma had smaller fingers. Every time I would try to get them, I would end up squishing them. So I was always very careful, and I'm like, I would try to make sure to grab them by the tail, or then I just started getting cups, and like I'll guide them, I'll push them with my finger into the cup because I always felt like by the time I grabbed them to put them outside, they were dead half the time. I'm like, fuck, bro, I don't want to kill them. So it's like I would try to just get the cup method, but sometimes the big ones, obviously, for the cup method doesn't work, so they were gone. What can you do?
We used to have a gecko.
The geckos are awesome, man.
I used to when I go to when we were little, we go to my cousin's house and they have the snake. I was like, I have no interest in any of that.
Oh, I don't like snakes, but
it's like, what's the why?
Dude, the other day there was a lady in Walmart walking around, and the girl had a snake wrapped around her hand. I'm like, how the hell are you just in Walmart with a snake?
Like, of course, Walmart, bro.
Yeah, it's like, what is this, dude? That isn't like a support animal or anything. You're fucking walking around with
We
a
just
snake.
talked the whole thing about sports. We were debating the KD deal. You missed out. You came in late. You know?
Yeah. Who is this guy?
Harrison said, I was talking to Harrison earlier, man. He hangs out with the Salmon King. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
The what?
Salmon? No, not Salmon King. Tulsa
King.
Not the Tulsa.
Caviar King. Sylvester Stallone?
Caviar.
Caviar?
Yeah.
It looks like shit, bro.
Not to them.
Caviar King. That's crazy.
Yeah,
man.
that's their thing, dude. Yeah, Caviar King.
That's
Go check
crazy.
them out on
Caviar
Instagram.
King.
There's your plug for the Caviar King. Go check them out on Instagram.
Let me eat whale eggs. It's like, what? It's crazy, man. Crazy stuff.
I'm the scrambled egg king.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
Boiled eggs. I'll have it.
From pan con vite and Cuban sandwiches to like, what do you? I eat caviar. What? The fuck? Do you even know how to spell caviar? Not you.
I'll try. I was like,
C-A.
Do you see this winning many championships? Yeah,
they could, but they're gonna get expensive.
Yeah,
I just don't see. You know what, Bobby? One thing this series has taught me, I don't see Chet Holmgren spending a whole lot of time there in OKC.
Long term,
no. I don't see him sustainable there. Williams, yes. Obviously, SGA, yes. But Chet Holmgren, I'm like, they're gonna move on.
I think
him.
Williams might be a guy that I could see possibly move down the line. And what I like about Williams, I could see Williams being one of those guys because he's gonna be very sought after. But I'm thinking, like, for me, with the NBA, the way it is, you go size and then you got your star, right? SGA's your star, or your superstar, and Chet Holmgren could be a super. He's there. He's almost there. He's about to be there. But he's your big, and to me, Williams has so much value, and he could play really any position. I think a deal for him would be wise.
Fire
Alex the boy. $1.99.
What is this, bro? The Dollar Tree?
Listen, go over to your Caviar King friend and go get $500, and maybe I'd consider firing Alex the boy and then rehire Alex.
Bro,
the man.
I will resign. If you get a 500, I will resign, bro.
$1.99.
I mean, if the Caviar King wants to sponsor our show, we could eat caviar on air. I got no problem, Bobby. You'll be trying caviar.
Nah, bro. I can touch every. Oh gosh.
We could be having caviar with Malta, and just having Malta.
you want me to freaking barf live on air, bro? Die. Harrison goes, LOL. It's like, Alex, you're fired. Oh, Alex thinks I text Matt. Okay, we just hired Alex the man. Here comes Alex. What's up, bro? Hey, bro. What's up? I catch little lizards.
Yeah, that's true. I let the big lizards go. They're intimidating.
Visit Bemka Caviar, the best caviar in the game. I don't even know what the best caviar is. I mean, because I just, who eats that shit? Empanadas. Caviar empanadas.
That's like the best caviar in the world. It's like, it's shit that smells good. That's the way that's described.
Tati goes, expensive as F, and tastes like butt. That's always like a saying I'll never, I don't know, tastes like butt. Like, how would you know? Like, why would you say that?
I mean,
It's like,
is it clean butt?
It's like depends. What butt what do we saying? And how would you answer that? Like, what type of like dirty butt? Well, how did you know that? It's not right. I don't know. Back to this game here. 93-81 OKC.
Yeah, they're gonna win.
Alexander has 27 points.
Yeah,
he has 27 points. And Maria asks, is he the best player in the world right now?
SGA.
He's the MVP.
He's one of the top. Yeah,
He's still the MVP.
Go with Jovic. Yeah.
You mean Joker?
Joker, yeah. I still go
said
Joker. Oh, I said Jovic? Sorry.
Yeah,
Jokic,
you said Jovic.
Jokic.
Yeah.
My bad.
Tati's in the weird stuff. Oh, man. Kevin says sturgeon caviar is fire. Well, there you go. Harrison, is sturgeon caviar fire?
Sturgeon caviar.
Harrison would know. If
More
not, he could ask his friend,
More expensive
Caviar
shit.
King, probably might know. There you go. Are you betting on this game, Bobby? No, I'm not, Tati.
No. We don't have money to be betting on.
Sorry.
It's crazy.
If I were, I would be doing. I would have betted on Indiana, and I probably did like a $5.
Yeah,
like a $5 bet because I don't.
You would have lost. You would have lost some money right there.
$5. No, I think if Halliburton was here, I think they would have been way closer.
What a competitive.
Hold on, someone's down right now. Let's see. No,
another person's down. Oh,
let's see what happened here. They're fighting for a loose ball. They're fine. Get up. One of the other Indiana players. Hey, it's only 3 minutes. I mean, really, you're not down. It could happen. It could happen. I'm going to sleep on it yet. Just say losing Halliburton's a tough stretch, man. But Alex, before you went to go chase down the lizards, and you separated a family.
Yeah, thanks.
The mom and the baby is now,
yeah.
Just live with that. Jamila and AJ, you separated a family. Live with that. And when mama attacks you later, bites your nose, remember why. Caviar King can afford to bet on a game. Oh, I'm on air.
Yeah, don't say it.
Don't push it.
Just Harrison, wipe, man. Just
wipe on him. I got a microphone.
Wipe a little bit. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Jamila says, I don't care. She's like straight up.
About but the lizard, she doesn't. Yeah, it's like for them, it's like nothing.
Is this a spouse's competition, Harrison? The guys. But you were saying it before you went to chase down the lizards. And I think you were talking about the Bulls.
Yeah.
Because we brought up the two other players, possibly
right.
DeMar DeRozan or Kuminga as possible options for Miami. I think they lost on KD. Are there other players that Miami could go after, not name those guys? I think you brought up Lonzo Ball and the center from Chicago.
Vucevic, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think Vooch is a perfect option for us because we do need a backup 5, and he's older already. He still provides solid rebounding, great shooting. He can stretch the floor for you. I would still. A lot of people had even if we acquire KD, they had this scenario that we're gonna bring Ware off the bench. I would have started KD, Bam, and Ware. Bam could be your number 3 defender, defending the opposing 3, and it's perfectly fine. He's a great wing defender, and obviously it preserves. There is an accumulative disregard to your body and damage when you're playing down low. Bam is a smaller. He's strong, but he's a smaller in size. So he has to exert more energy and able to rebound to defend against bigger opponents. There is a deterioration that occurs when you do that on a consistent basis. So I have no problem with Bam defending the wing. Even if we acquire Vooch, I still see, even if we would acquire Durant, I still would have seen them starting Ware and Bam. You get a bigger front line. So definitely the Chicago Vucevic is an option. I think Porzingis is an option because the Celtics need to shred salary. Okay, they're going to be a second apron team, and they're going to be out of Brown and out of Tatum. Now, don't get me wrong. This is a pretty decent draft, even for Miami to have a pick. That's the important part here. This draft coming up is almost as strong as this one. Okay. So there is a possibility that you're talking about the Celtics. They could even get a Cam Boozer, AJ Dibonsta, I think has to pronounce his last name. There's a lot of top options here. Nate Amont. Like there's a lot of situations here that I wanted Miami to keep this pick. That's why I was happy that our pick conveyed, because this I like this draft coming up as well in 2026. There's other options that I still see where I know definitely Sacramento is going to be talked about. And I'm going to do a landscape. So by the next time we have a show, unless there's a move made, there's always a surprise player that it becomes available, that ask out. And we still haven't seen it this year. So I'm still waiting.
Okay, but let me just push it, because I know, like, asking out, when you're saying that player to ask out, you're talking like one of those bigger names. You're like, hey, if there's a surprise,
correct,
right?
Correct.
My thing is too, when it comes to that, I don't want to think about those type of players just because Heat fans hang on to that. They're like, oh, dude, we got in, and if they don't, the Heat suck. Oh man, my life is over. I just want to have a big name. I don't want to get to champion. I just want a big name. It's like, come on, get over it.
That's your guy living in mom's basement, fat guy.
That's right. That's the dude living in mom's basement.
I see.
That's my dude. Yeah, that's one of those guys. In his little whitey tighties, or But what I'm talking about, a player that is attainable with Miami's current assets. Is there a player attainable with Miami's current assets that Miami could get that could help move the needle a little bit, that won't kill them or deplete them? And by that, like, I'm thinking, like, these are names that they're not superstars, but they're stars. And the one guy I think of, oh my goodness, is it like Lauri Markkanen, those type of players that, those are the type of guys that I think, like, hey, that, you could, you'll have to give up something.
Yeah. It's going to cost you a lot.
It's not going to kill you. It's not going to.
Well, you have to give up more for him than for KD, for sure. So for Lauri Markkanen, you're talking about, because he has a 4-year contract and he's a very young player and a very productive player. So that's going to cost you a lot.
Andrew Wiggins, Jaquez, Highsmith, the 20th overall pick.
But you know what?
I don't know if you're giving up.
I'll tell you this.
Halliburton type. Yes, Kevin. Yes.
Yeah, correct. Now,
that's what I'm talking about.
There's a situation there where that's why I think Phoenix even acquiring Jalen Green has the potential to be a superstar. Like, he really does. So that might be another scenario where it's kind of like they traded Tyrese. They traded SGA.
Think about when OKC landed SGA. Nobody was thinking that at that time. Like, dude, he's a superstar. He's going to bring us to the NBA championship. Nobody thought that at that moment in time.
We might have one of those in Khalil Ware. That's why I don't want to move him, because we might have one of those.
I'm telling you.
Now, there's another scenario now. And remember, this is a secondary move for this offseason, which might be the most important move and the most telling move. Tyler Hero's extension. If Tyler Hero doesn't agree to an extension, that's a very telling move that he might be moved. Now, if you want to get into the Lauri Markkanen game, the Sabonis game, you might include Hero there. And all of a sudden now, the assets that you have to move aren't as asinine that you have to deplete your whole roster. So this could be a situation where you're moving Tyler, and do not be surprised if the conversations come up, even though I do believe it's very unlikely. But there might be a situation there where Tyler names comes up. And obviously, if you're moving for a Giannis, if you're moving for a Sabonis, if you're moving for a big name, it has to be a superstar, and you have to attach multiple assets, multiple first-round picks.
Kevin asked earlier. He was like, Kevin was asking earlier, like, all right, if Anthony Edwards or Giannis were available, are you not giving up all those assets? That's a different. That's a different.
You acquire him, and then you figure out the rest.
That's right. That's different. Anthony Edwards is a different beast.
And even as a roster, remember you just brought up Russell Westbrook a little while ago. If you acquire Kevin Durant, then you have veteran presence that are kind of, insightful for them to sign. One player that I think that we can sign all right that could help us is Brook Lopez. He's a great addition for us as a backup 5. And I believe it'll cost you the mid-level exception. I'm okay with that. That's a good move for me, in my opinion. Why? Because you have a young nucleus. You need shooting. You need wing shooting. So that needs to be addressed. You got Alec Burks that is willing to come back. You got to see what you do with Duncan Robinson. So realistically, out of all the players, what will cost you the least that can help you is Vucevic, DeRozan. I believe it could be attainable. because what they want to do is shred salary. I believe also the Celtics are going to be major players here because the Celtics can move. I believe they rather move Porzingis and Holiday. It's going to take a huge package to move Derek White or Jaylen Brown. So that to me is not even a question, realistically. Is there another player, maybe like a Marcus Smart, he can help you out? Another name that hasn't been brought up is John Morant. There's rumors, longs the rumors about possibly Heat inquiring. I don't buy it as much right now. I think that ship sailed per se. But let me even think across the board. You got obviously San Antonio is young. They're going for it. They have the right nucleus. Clippers, I don't know if they'll move some of their contracts. I don't see that happening realistically. The Warriors are set. We know what they're going to do. The Nuggets have to revamp their roster, but nothing really attracts me from their roster that I would even make a play for. Utah's a really enticing piece. The Lakers as well. Rui Hachimura. They're not going to move Austin Reeves, I don't believe. And then you have Minnesota. I get back to Minnesota and Julius Randle. He has a player option. That could be a name that comes up. I'm pretty sure Minnesota might want to move from Julius Randle because they got the Nas Reed situation coming up. Well, that wouldn't be surprising. But we're not going to be able to get it to the Nas Reed bidding there. But I would love Nas Reed for this team. I think he's an excellent piece. It's just we have to see what the second domino is, Bobby. That's the only thing. We have to see where they go. It's going to be very telling this week, the conversations that come up. I'm intrigued to see how the Tyler Hero contract extensions come up because we don't have to do it right now. But if we are going to do it, it's better to do it now because it will be more expensive down the line. And I already talked to you how the CBA works and the salary cap will rise. That contract becomes more affordable as time goes on. So I'm not worried about that if that's the route that they choose to go. But if they go that route, that means that we got a plan in place. We are really going to go with our youth. And I keep saying that people keep talking about a youth movement, but we have a veteran youth core.
Yeah,
like, that's very different. We don't have like the Houston core of 2 years ago where everybody was 21, 22. No, we got a 29-year-old, a 27-year-old, and a 25-year-old. Like, we have a nice little core there that can work with the right pieces and internal growth. I think people are overlooking that. And I believe it or not, even this year more out of anything, in comparison to last year, we had Jimmy, we were going to change things up, but we were an older team. This year, this team is going to be completely different. I understand it's not about running it back. I believe we're going to look different, but we're going to play different as well. So it's really, honestly, it's a wait and see approach. I don't want quick moves. I want the right moves. And that's something that the fans just have to be patient with.
OKC is officially NBA champion. Just
they won?
It up. Yep, that's it.
That's great for them, man. They deserve it.
Yeah.
They deserve it, bro.
Been a long time coming.
That's,
organically, the way they built that team over time. I mean, stockpiling those draft picks and getting those players and what they've been able to do. And good for OKC, Oklahoma City getting their first NBA championship.
That is insane, man.
That's always cool to see. That's cool to see. And they do it on their home court, which is awesome for their home fans.
Yeah.
I mean, tough luck for Indiana, but Indiana should be proud, man, for what they were able to do. And
yeah,
I mean,
they had an unexpected finals run, man. Yeah,
dude,
that's another year now, bro. That's a wasted year next year. Oh, now that you say that, a name, Bobby Brown. I think, is it Bobby Brown? Bruce Brown.
Bruce Brown,
ex-UM player. He could be an asset for Miami too.
Bobby Brown was Whitney Houston's ex-husband.
Yeah. He won't be an asset to us.
No,
at all. No, too slow, too small.
Small like lizard.
out of shape.
Let's talk about championships, and we're talking about Miami Heat, and how close they will ever be. And I'm never going to doubt the Heat when there's Pat Riley and Coach Spo, and I'm never going to doubt Miami. I don't care what anybody says. If you're not riding with it, then just bounce. That's how I feel. And I'm not saying that to everyone in the comments. There have been putting great comments in there, and I get it. I'm talking about the people online when I'm reading this stuff. It's like this. Just to me, it's not even legitimate hate. It's just an agenda at that point, because it doesn't make any sense what the hell they're saying. And if they really feel that way, go to another team. I can care less. I'm sure they can care less too, the Heat. But to talk about championship teams, we do have a championship team in South Florida.
Yes, we do.
And that's the Florida Panthers, baby. 2-time Stanley Cup champs, dominating fashion. It's not like, this is 2 years in a row. 3 years they went to the final. 2 years in a row they've won the championship. And I mean, in a way of it's so much fun watching the Panthers play and the way they play. And you could tell that what they are as a team. You could tell, like Brad Marchand was traded for just this season, and the way he's playing with this guy, like he's with our team, like he's been there forever.
Yeah.
And so much so that it's like I don't want to lose Bennett, I don't want to lose Marchand, I don't want to lose Ekblad. Those are the three main guys that we could lose this after this offseason.
And Ekblad.
That's what I said. Ekblad, those three guys.
Oh, you said Ekblad?
I did. No, they're good. But what I'm saying is, I don't want to lose any of those guys. I mean, I understand that it's going to happen, but I'll tell you what. I mean, it could happen, even though I think those guys love it here.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they gave up a little to come back. I think they truly believe, and I think most people believe. I know NHL fans outside of Florida hate Florida because it's a super team. It's like, oh, shut up. But I believe that Florida believes, and I believe too, that they could three-peat. They're that damn good as a unit on the team. Like, there's a lot of second, third unit. The second and third unit for Florida could be first units around the league. Yeah. It's ridiculous how good the Panthers are from start to finish in their lineups. And shout out though to Will Patrone and Adrian of the Rainy Day Pod. They did a few episodes of the Florida Cats Dirty Rats podcast here on FTSN. Those guys were awesome. Mom did the pots and pans in Hialeah, went on 49th Street.
She did?
Yeah, with Casey and Vanessa and Nick, and so that was really cool.
That's cool.
I banged the pots and pans here in my backyard.
They called the cops?
No, I was waiting for the neighbors to get pissed, but
yeah,
I'm in a Hispanic community here in Franklin, so I think that they play music and everything, so I don't think it bothered them as much.
Yeah.
But my daughter Audrey was pissed because she goes to bed early.
Oh,
and, she goes to bed like around 8:00 and wakes up around 6. So she was already in bed, and I'm banging
like
the
an old lady.
So the next day she told me, she was like, "I was so mad. I was going to scream and did it." I was like, "I don't give a damn. Shame on you for not being awake." Yeah,
baby.
The point was to wake up.
What are you, 85? Get your ass up. It's 8:00.
All love, Kevin. I must, what I'm saying, brother. It's all good, my man. I hope we keep all three, and I think we will. But I'll tell you what, even if we didn't, if we had to lose to two of them, and I think Bennett's definitely coming back.
Yeah.
Ekblad and Marchand are the two ifs. I would love to have Ekblad back. I want them all back. I don't want to say one or the other because then it looks like I'm favoring one. But I'll tell you what, even if we did lose the two of them, or even all three, or just the one, I trust Bill Zito to keep this roster competitive. And let me tell you, there's a lot of young like I know my son is going to be a Panthers fan, or a hockey fan, Panther, whatever, for life because of what he's seen. The fun we're having. Well, we've gone to games here in Nashville and it's a blast, but to get to see your team winning and the way they're winning and how much they're having fun, that's a fan for life. So these Panthers are making, like how we grew up Heat fans and we saw these championship runs, or even the Marlins when we saw the World Series. They made us fall in love with the team, where it's like we'll go through it forever, no matter how bad or crappy they are. We'll stick through it because that's what the Panthers are doing right now for these young guys, for these young kids.
Yeah,
like I'm watching the Florida games and I'm seeing all the young fans in the crowd.
Yeah,
I'm like, these kids are going to be Panthers fans. Like they're us when we grew up watching 2006 Heat or the 2006 the Marlins in that era. We never got to see the Dolphins. Of course, we grew up in the 2000 Dolphins, and they were fun, but they never did anything championship-wise. But that's what these teams are doing. What do you think the impact? First of all, I haven't talked to you since Florida won, or we haven't talked on air. But the Florida win, how did you feel about that? And what do you think about the impact that's going to have on the generations of Florida, Miami sports fans? And I do want to say, because it's not Miami, it's Fort Lauderdale. Yes, they're in Sawgrass area, but they started in Miami. Let's be real.
Correct.
The Miami Marina. So they are a Miami team. They are Miami's team. So that shows your knowledge at that point. But go ahead, Alex. I'm being a hater today. I don't give a damn.
You mentioned it, and you hit the nail on the head. Is you're building a generational following, something that we really haven't had here, in regards to parents transferred fandom to child since the Dolphins, like the Dolphins from the 70s and the 80s that we saw our parents, or in this case, our neighbors, fanning over them, and then it was transferred to you. So you became a fan just because your parents were fans. Because a lot of these sports teams now were born in our generation. So, for example, Panthers, Heat, they all came to exist after we were born. So this is our opportunity to build a generational fandom where you transfer it to your kids and you have the tradition of going to the games, of watching the games together. And I think it's a beautiful thing that other places have had it for years. Like, for example, New York with the Jets, the Giants, the Yankees, the Mets. So we're kind of like a younger sports city, realistically. Even now with Inter Miami, like we are a very diversified ecosystem of fandom in different sports now in Miami. So we are the huge melting pot, and it's a beautiful thing to see because, especially with the Panthers, a team that was written off because hockey's not played in the South. Hockey's not a warm sport, but their style of play identifies with Miami. Like, the Panthers have that swag that is Miami. Like, you don't want to fuck with them on the ice. And people see that now. And people take it to heart, and you identify with that team. And that's why even when players get acquired, even the Seth Jones, the merchant, like you just said, you become one with the community, and the community embraces you. And it's true. They have a huge following here. So it's just like, I believe now it's a generational situation, kind of like the Heat fans were when we acquired Pat Riley. This is kind of where they achieved success faster than the Heat when they acquired Pat Riley, because we were in the mix of it, but we ran into Michael Jordan. So in the comparisons, it's like if we were going through it and there was Wayne Gretzky still playing, that's a different scenario. But Bill Cito becomes an icon right now here, where he's probably the best GM in the sport. And he has if he doesn't leave, which I don't think he will, he has a possibility to build, well, he's already built a generational team. I'm talking about multiple Stanley Cup appearances for the next 5 to 6 years.
Remember, there's already 3 years in a row.
3 years in a row. 3 years in a row and 2 championships. This team could run the table another 2 to 3 years while these players are still in their prime. And it's great when you see the kids enjoy it and embrace it. And just like soccer, when it overtook here, there is going to be a bigger outreach when it comes to kids wanting to play hockey. Saying
Kevin just asked that question. Panther success.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Hockey. Yeah, right
there
away.
You go.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true.
100%.
Even field hockey, street hockey. There's a lot of. Remember, we used to play street hockey, and that's when and I remember the Panthers. I still remember this vividly. The Panthers in 1996, when we made the Stanley Cup Finals, we weren't even supposed to make it, and we got swept by the Avalanche. But I still remember the last game. I think it went into double or triple overtime. And I remember waiting because I didn't have cable. So I would watch the score updates when they would give the sports section of every newscast. Yeah. And I would wait for it. And I still remember waiting to read the newspaper in the morning with the scores. And if the scores were too late, you had to call. You had to call to see, or you had to see the channel that had all the sports scores from the night before. That's how you found out if your team won. It's not just clicking on a phone and going to X and watch everybody post or going to ESPN.com.
That's what I miss, going the next morning and getting the newspaper and looking at all the scores. Yeah, I miss that. Or just looking at, there's nothing like picking up a newspaper or sports and going to the sports section and having that in your hands.
It's the epitome of a surprise. Have you noticed the essence of surprises and of being like awed is kind of gone because you find out everything now on the moment.
That's right. It's you don't think about it. Like, everybody knew that, like, earlier today, we talked about it before it happened. Like, this Durant deal's about to go down, you know, because it was saying all over social media, it's getting close. It's getting close. So everybody, correct. And then these are the teams. So when it goes down, there was no like, it happened. It's, deal's done.
That's it. That's it.
Where, it would be while you're watching Sports Center one day.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, wait, dude, could they do it? Also,
breaking news.
Kevin Durant traded to whatever, the Houston Rockets. Whoa, wait a second. Or next day you wake up and you open up, OKC won. It's like, those are just, no, I miss those Miami. Yeah, dude, I miss. I used to go to the Walgreens. We worked at that Walgreens, but before and after we did, I'd always go to the Walgreens and buy the newspaper, Miami Herald or Sun Sentinel, or even the they had those special sports papers. Like it was all sport. I forgot what it was, but it was all like football. Like, it would tell you about the whole season. I used to buy those all the time. I love
Do you still
newspapers.
do you still remember going to the paper stand where you put the quarter and open the machine?
Yes.
And you had to get your paper and the thing would just snap back and close.
Yeah,
Like,
because you got to
was the
trust you
time,
take the
bro.
one. Behind
Yeah.
this wall, I don't know if I've ever shown that, but I have the Miami Heat championship newspaper.
Oh, the newspaper.
And
Yeah.
Yeah, because I took that.
2006?
I used to buy those all the time. I think it's 2006. I'm pretty sure it's
Okay.
2006. I used to buy those all the time. I remember I was holding on to it, and I remember Nick ripped it because he tried to take it from
Yeah,
me.
because he's an
Pissed
asshole.
me off, dude.
Yeah.
You know, it still pisses me off. Like, you know, buy paper. What are
You
touching?
randomly gonna see him, you're just gonna punch him. Just
Straight
for
up
the
and down.
paper, bro. I hate you. And you too, Harrison, the caviar king. Fuck you, man.
Very quick. But TV, a show that I just started
Yes.
watching and I couldn't stop. I can't stop
Yeah.
watching at the end of season 1. But I don't know if you've seen this, and if you have,
Yeah.
I can't hate you for not telling me about it.
Yeah.
And if you haven't, don't miss it. It's on Netflix.
What? Tires?
No, not Tires. Did you watch Tires?
I
Have you
watched
seen-
Tires. It's hilarious.
What did you
It's
think?
hilarious.
What did you think?
They're the best, bro. I love it. I love it.
Oh,
man.
did you finish all 2 seasons yet?
All 2 seasons, yeah. All
Did you
done.
see the picture? The one with the picture? When he goes, the
Which
picture
one?
of the mom? The mom?
Yeah.
The cousin, he goes, oh, he goes,
Oh,
"Look at
yeah.
this." He goes, and he goes, that's my mom. That's your aunt.
That's your
bro."
mom.
And he
That's
goes,
your
he goes, dude, do you think that there's and he goes, yeah, that was my dad. You just had your
Yeah.
uncle. And it's like, he's like, it. First of all, Shane Gillis is hilarious.
Amazing.
And so the guy who plays his cousin is really
Oh,
good.
yeah. Will. He's funny
But,
as shit.
It's a great. I told you, dude. I knew you were gonna love. I
It's
love
amazing,
that show.
dude. Amazing.
I love that show. And but
I
there's
watched it in
another
2 days.
it's hard to put down. That's where I had to stop because Tati was like, super. Tati was watching. And she laughed at it in season 2.
Yeah.
She started watching it after season 2. But to me, it's hilarious. Just stupid comedy. And I think he's, dude, just when he's in the back waiting for the girlfriend or what he thinks is his girlfriend. I'm like, dude, oh man,
That scene was hilarious, bro. All of them. It's a sequence of events in the show that is, to me, is pure comedy.
I love
even
comedy.
Dave. I love that comedian. I
dude,
love that guy.
I
bro.
love
That's
comedy
hilarious.
that, like, when bad situations get like just bad. I don't know why. I just find that so funny.
Yeah.
It's just it's such a bad situation and it becomes hilarious, you know. But they're all funny. The whole show was casted really well. The show that I'm about to talk about is another one where the cast just seems really good. But Tires, Kevin, on Netflix. It's a stupid comedy. You can't watch it around the kids. It's vulgar as hell, but it's hilarious. And if you want some stupid comedy just to get a laugh, because the world is such a drag place right now with anything, like it just can bring you down and you just need laughter, which I think is the best real medicine. I will say that straight up.
Correct.
When you're feeling down, whatever, put on something funny. This is a show that's hilarious. It's Tires. But another show, it's called Resident Alien. Have you ever heard that?
Oh no, I
Heard of that show?
I've seen the movie, but no, I haven't.
Movie.
Heard of the show.
Is there a movie called Resident Alien?
I think so. Isn't there?
There's a show. There's a movie called Alien. Are you talking about the one with Seth Rogen's voice?
Oh my God, which one?
There's a movie called Alien with Seth Rogen who played the alien. That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Or you're talking about
I think it's an older movie.
Alien. You mean Alien? I'm sorry. Are you talking about the horror story, the alien killer, the killer?
No. Hold on. Let me look this up. I think there was a movie.
This is a show that's on Sci-Fi. It's a comedy. It's called Resident Alien. The actor that's in it, he was in The Knight's Tale.
Oh yes, the pirate.
Yes,
the pirate from Dodgeball.
Yes. Resident Alien. It's going on. I think it's going on its 4th season.
Okay.
It is 3 seasons. Is on Netflix.
Okay.
Tati and I put it on because I was like, man, you want to watch these? She goes, I heard good things about it. I said, let's watch it. And I'll tell you what, dude, we stayed up till 4 a.m. We couldn't stop until finally. It was that good. Like we kept pressing play. I turned it off at one point and she got mad at me. She's like, it was like 2:30. I was like, I turned it off and she said, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, you still want to watch? She's like, yeah, I want to fall asleep to it. And I was like, we couldn't sleep. We kept watching it. So we're at the end of season 1 now. It's hilarious. He's he's an alien who crash lands on Earth in Colorado. And he takes the form of a doctor, takes the form of a doctor, and he has to pretend to be human while he's trying to also wants to kill the human race. So like he does everything in his power to keep hiding. So he ends up being the town doctor. So he has to learn on his phone how to give up. Like he goes, the girl gets checked out, like he does everything. Like he's a town doctor that does everything, pelvic exams,
Pelvic
so
exam.
the girl's on the table and he goes, I see your problem. You have a ring attached to. She goes, no, that's supposed to be there. He goes, oh, he's checking her. I'm like, oh my God. It's hilarious, dude. It's dropped it. It's hilarious. Like
I'll check it out.
Put it on. I'm telling you, you're not going to stop.
Because the one I started watching, actually, I'm in the first episode. Is The Waterfront. It's a new show on Netflix. It's like a family that has a fishing business.
Okay.
And they get into like the drug business to keep the business alive.
Okay.
Like the son got into it. So I've just started now, but I was intrigued by it. But
okay.
I'm definitely gonna check that one out too. The Resident Alien.
Put it on, dude. Resident Alien. It's 3 seasons, so that's cool. So you already have.
Yeah.
And it's still going. So like as soon as you're done, it's like okay, get to the next season, the
next season.
So, but it's hilarious, dude. It's the shit they go through. It's hilarious, and the stuff he goes through because he's still trying to. And there's one kid in the town that could see him, like the.
Oh yeah, that knows that he's an alien.
Yeah, he sees him, and the kid screams like the kid, and the parents like, what's the matter with him? And so like when the kid goes get a checkout because he cut the kid's tire or something because he wants to kill the kid comes in, and the kid finds out he's the doctor. Okay. And so the kid starts screaming. He jumps out of the window, and the parents are like, "Why did you?" They go find him. What's the matter with you? Why are you running? And he goes, "He's trying to kill me." And the doctor looks human. He's like, "I'm not trying to do anything." All of a sudden, it shows the scene, and it shows the alien's face with a thing that cuts your, And he goes, "I'm gonna cut your fucking head off." I was like, "Oh, dude, it's hilarious." Anyway, it's funny to me. To those who think I'm not being funny, it's really funny. Check it out. I'm not doing it justice. But anyway, we're about an hour and 20 in, and supposedly Alex's house is being overrun by Godzilla's nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what's happening here.
You need to seal something, windows open or something.
I don't know what it is.
But anyway, Alex, before we wrap this one up, any final thoughts, brother?
No, just I'm excited for the draft. We'll talk later. Hopefully we could do we're gonna do a show. Well, we'll update our fans. We'll do a show Wednesday while the draft is going on. But I'm just excited to see what secondary moves are coming. And like I always tell Heat fans, remember, this is uncharted territory for us because we have a youth movement per se. And I know we got Andrew Wiggins' contract and Terry Rozier's expiring and Duncan's expiring. So just hold on to your seats. The moves could probably get interesting. But this offseason and the next will be very telling. And the East is wide open. So let's take it easy. Let's relax. And let's enjoy other sports too. Dolphins are around the corner. Panthers just won. So let's have a good time and enjoy your summer.
Good enough for me. Guys, talking about very quick for Florida Panthers. Got to shout out Caneswear. If you're a Panthers fan and you want some Panthers gear, 2655 South University Drive in Davie, Florida. Caneswear, Miami Fanwear, Brett and the crew, they're killing it. All this week, they have Florida Panther players there live at the shop for autograph signings. Alex, let me read this off very quick.
Go ahead.
Brett is killing it. Brett obviously runs Caneswear, and he is the host of the Caneswear podcast here on FTSN. Here's the crew. Here's who they have, man. Let's see here. Tomorrow, I'm going to butcher this name, but they got Lindell there. They got Lastarinen there to do from 2:15 to 3:45. You can purchase the tickets on caneswear.com. Jovic and Greer on Monday as well, later in the afternoon from 5 to 6:30. Michaela and Schmidt on Tuesday, June 24th, from 2:45 to 4:15. From 5:45 to 7:15. This is a big one. Tuesday, June 24th. Alexander Barkov will be at Caneswear signing autographs. You could buy a jersey there and get it signed. You bring your signed items. Aaron Ackblad and Forsling will be there on the 25th. Reinhardt will be there on the 26th. And then Verhage will be there on the 26th as well later on in the afternoon. So Pantherswear.com, Caneswear.com. You can get your tickets to go see the Florida Panthers at Caneswear or get your Caneswear gear. Brett and the crew at Caneswear at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, Florida. So freaking cool. The Panthers, 2-time Stanley Cup champions, and Caneswear killing it. We'll see if Caneswear comes back this week. They took off this week, and we'll go from there. Kevin, I'm not ready yet, my man. I'm going to hold my breath on that one. I don't want to give any type of predictions. I got to watch a little bit more this week, and I want to keep my streak alive, but maybe not saying anything at all. But I'm going to say it anyway just to go. But I'm not going to do that just yet. If not, you just have to watch the draft show.
Yes.
And we'll go from there. So keep, follow Twitter. If you're not have it yet, hit that like and subscribe button. We have 162 people watching live right now through all the channels, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. We appreciate you all watching. If you're anywhere other than YouTube, hop on over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button and notifications bell. Join us and watch the draft with us, with Alex and I, as we see what the Heat are going to do and what the NBA does. It's going to be an interesting night. Maybe the Heat trade the 20th pick. Maybe they make a selection for someone and they trade it. We'll see. It's going to be interesting. Until then, like and subscribe, and good night, Miami. We appreciate you.
Peace.
Later.
Gringos in the house. Straight out of Hialeah, no doubt. East 10th Street, where we play out. Here we bring the Miami crowd. Alex, the boy with the B. Step into rhythm, feel the heat. Street vibes mixing with the Latin tree. In our flow, the two